first, and then you're going to get to try it. Ready? Yeah. Okay, it goes like this. Flower. I make the flower with my hand. Some plants have flowers.
This is just Miss Lori's turn.
Yeah, it's just my turn. You can just watch. You're going to get a chance to try it in a minute. Good. If you know it, I'm so excited to see you try it in just a minute. This is how it goes. Flower. Stem. Leaves. Pretending my arms and my hands are leaves. Leaves and roots. And I wiggle my roots. Leaves and roots. Because they're sucking up the nutrients. Flower, stem, leaves and roots. Leaves and roots. And all you need is sun and showers. Then the seed turns into a flower. What? Okay, sun and moon.
We done. Miss Lori's going to let us do it next.
As soon as everybody looks like Abby. Cool. They need sun and showers and air and nutrients. We've been learning about that. Your turn. Almost there. I almost got the whole orange. Rochelle, thanks for standing up with your team. Will you count us off?
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Flowers, stem.
That's your stem. It's the part that holds you up. Good.
Flowers, stem, leaves and roots. Leaves and roots. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots. Leaves and roots.
And all you need is
Sun and showers.
seed turns into a flower. Take a seat. Take a long
Hooray! Hooray! Get your hooray!
Look at those seeds sitting back on the ground. So, we've been learning about the parts of a plant, but today we're going to learn about a game. We're going to learn about flowers today. And there's a character that you're going to meet named Polly, and she loves flowers. You can find flower, it looks like this. So we're going to hear about how Polly and her honeybee friends, she's a honeybee. We're going to find out how Polly and her honeybee friends help flowers out. So let's get our vocabulary vortex words. Here's what you're going to do. Watch me. Vocabulary vortex takes a long time. Watch what we're going to do now. We're going to go vocabulary vortex. Yes. Ready? Oh. Ready, go.
Vocabulary vortex. Yes!
Wait a second, right there, you can see it. First word in our vocabulary vortex is the word nectar. You say it. Nectar. Yeah, you might have heard of nectar before. Nectar is a sweet liquid, kind of like water is a liquid. Nectar is a sweet liquid that's found in flowers that some bees and birds collect. Collect means when you take things and you keep them. They collect the nectar. Say nectar.
Nectar.
Just lock it in, okay? Lock it in. The next word, you might have heard this word before, is the word honey.
Honey.
Do you know what's so cool about Tavon right now? He's seen honey before, but he didn't choose to talk. He just went like this. Honey is sweet, sticky food made by bees, and they make it from the nectar of flowers. Bees make honey. The next word in our vocabulary vortex, oh, you're going to have to tap this one out, is pollination.
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 flower and it lands on another flower to produce seeds. So let me actually show you what pollen is first, and that might help you understand. Pollen is a very, 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 very small powder. Have you ever seen like baby powder before?
Yeah.
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 Well, pollen looks
Had.
pollen. You can do this. Wait, remind me. Amazing. Please go put your name in the good choice rack. Pollen is like a yellow baby powder, and you find it in the center of a flower. So if you look really carefully at the center of a flower, let's go back to these flowers, you might see some pollen in the flower. And bees use flour during pollination. And here's what they do. A bee can fly, or sometimes birds too, from one flower where they pick up the pollen and they drop it on another flower, and that makes seeds. Isn't that cool? We're going to learn more about that today. Say pollination.
Pollination.
Okay. The last word in our vocabulary vortex is the word petals.
Petals.
Petals, listen carefully. I'm so glad if you know it, Justin, show me what it is. Petals are the colorful outside parts of a flower. They're not usually green. They're the colorful parts. So here are white petals. Here are yellow petals. Here are
Red petals.
flowers have petals. Say petals. Great. So we learned the word petals, pollen, pollination, nectar, honey. Good. Okay. So today we're going to read about my buddy, Holly the honey. Ryan, you've seen her before? All right.
I saw her.
Here we go. As soon as we look like Ethan, we are ready to go. Okay. Hello. My name is Polly, and I'm a honeybee. I live in a beehive in a meadow not too far from here. A meadow is a flat land that has usually a lot of grass and flowers all over. Close your eyes so you can picture where she lives. Open them. Your teacher asked me to come here today to tell you more about flowers, my favorite part of plants. And as you have been learning, flowers have seeds, and seeds can grow into new plants. And I am delighted to tell you about flowers, because flowers are one of my favorite things in the whole world. The meadow near my beehive is full of all different kinds of flowers that come in your body. Right here. Nope. In your lap. The meadow near my beehive is full of all different kinds of flowers that come in many different colors. Show me colors. Colors, that's how you say color. Now earlier today, I visited a particularly delicious yellow flower. Come along and I'll show it to you. Wait, Polly just called this flower delicious. Why would she call a flower delicious?
No.
Tonight, why do you think she called this flower delicious?
Because it's made of honey. And she said, remember you said it's made of honey?
Ooh, there was something inside of the flower that bees drink. It wasn't called honey, that's the thing that they make, and I'm really glad you're thinking about that. It was called nectar. Say nectar.
Nectar.
Nectar is the liquid that's inside flowers. Yeah. Polly said it's a delicious flower. Let's read about what she did when she got there. Oh, here's the flower I was telling you about. Do you see this ring of yellow parts around the flower? Those are called, Tristan, those are called, it's not called rings, they're called petals. Good, what are they called, Lions? Petals. The petals look like brightly colored leaves. The petals are the part of the plant buzzing around. Once I see a pretty flower, my favorite thing to do is to crawl inside of the petals into the center of the flower. What's it like to crawl inside a flower like this? Imagine for a minute that you're crawling into the bright yellow blankets of a very cozy bed. Close your eyes, let's imagine that. You're crawling, thanks for staying on your bottom, Shakti. You're crawling into a bed with yellow blankets and it's so cozy.
No.
Bright yellow! I'll stop for a second. Open your eyes and try me. Through to Polly or to me. Okay, close your eyes. Bright yellow is all around you. Now imagine that you stay under the blankets drinking the world's tastiest drink through a straw. You are so happy that you wiggle around and your skin gets covered in a yellow powder that smells great and feels good against your skin. That's what it's like for me when I visit a flower. Okay, open your eyes. Ooh, I'm so glad Polly let us imagine that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the world's tastiest drink is called nectar. That's the word that we're learning about. This is the thing that Polly thinks is the most delicious thing to drink. The most delicious thing to drink. I just want to shine Rochelle because she imagined that she was Polly crawling into that warm, yellow, cozy place, and then she went right back to being a hipster. You can do the same thing with her. Nectar is a sweet juice that plants make. And a powder that I like to rub up against is called pollen. Say pollen. Pollen. I can find nectar and pollen inside of a flower. And frankly, I'm not sure which one I like better. I visit more than 50 flowers in one day. Well, look over at our days when we've been coming to school. Polly can go to 50 flowers. That's almost as many days that we've been at school. But she doesn't do it in 50 days like we've been doing it. She can do it in one day. She can visit that many flowers. Good, Tristan. Way to show me sign. I visit these flowers because we bees get our pollen from flowers. And my job is to fly around and find nectar and pollen, and then I gather it up and I take it back to my hive. And I never remember this. I have a special pouch, kind of like a little bag on my body. She has a bag attached to her body, and it holds the nectar. And there are special hairs on my back legs that make a little basket that I can brush the pollen into. Imagine that. Imagine that you could make a bag out of your hair, that you could hang it on your body and you could collect things in it. That's what pollen has. Oh, I see Tristan thinking about, yeah. Isabella, can you show your friends that? Come here for a second. Look what Isabella said. She said, maybe I would make a bag. Show them. And then she would put the pollen into her bag. That's so cool, Isabella. Thanks for showing us. And when it's time to go back to my hive, that's where bees live, sometimes my load of pollen and nectar weighs so much, almost as much as I do. And when I get back to the hive, I turn the nectar and the pollen over to my friends, the worker bees. And they mix the pollen with a little bit of nectar, and then they feed it to the baby bees. And then they take their wings and they fan the rest of the nectar with their wings until most of the water is gone. You can imagine you're fanning the nectar. And then, hold your hands. Guess what you just turned that nectar